But the biggest thing is really helping my clients identify their value. I strongly believe each individual brings something unique to the workforce, and we may have the same title, same pay, all of that on paper looks the exact same, but what you and I bring to a team are very different. And so really being able to highlight that and understand that value and then convey that in an interview, your resume, cover letter, all of those pieces. But then also, like I said, having that mindset piece as well. So when things are getting tough, not feeling discouraged, maybe letting, sit with it for maybe a little bit, but then moving on with that new energy, that new boost of confidence, that knowing that something better is coming your way.
Welcome to Career Coaching Secrets, the podcast where we talk with successful career coaches on how they built their success and the hard lessons they learned along the way. My name is Davis Nguyen, and I'm the founder of Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to 7 and 8 figures without burning out. Before Purple Circle, I started and scaled several 7 and 8 figure career coaching businesses myself and consulted with 2 career coaching businesses that are now doing over $100 million each. Whether you're an established coach or just building your practice for the first time, you'll discover the secrets to elevating your coaching business.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Career Coaching Secrets podcast. I'm your host, Regin, and today's guest is Brittany Ohnsman. She is the founder of Career Navigator and a passionate career coach helping mid-level professionals navigate career changes with confidence. With a background in recruiting and candidate experience, she blends strategy with empathy, offering resume help, LinkedIn revamps, and interview prep. A disrupt HR speaker and personal cheerleaders to job seekers. She's all about putting the human back into hiring. And it's my honor to have her on the show today. Welcome to the podcast, Brittany.
Thank you, Regin. Thank you for having me today.
Brittany, tell me a little bit more about what inspired you to become a coach and start your own coaching business.
Yeah, I love this question. I spent about 13 years in recruiting in various different sectors, so from agency to corporate recruiting, even school recruitment. And I've always just found this passion for candidates. Oftentimes there's a lot of rejection involved in that process. And I would see these candidates apply and they would have so much potential, but maybe their resume wasn't written to really sell their best strengths and attributes, or maybe their interview, they struggled in that. And so I just found this passion. I always wanted to help job seekers. And so now I get to do that with my career coaching business.
So from the perspective of a recruiter, that's kind of like what got you started to actually help these people. And now it's been about 9 months, almost a year. How does the journey look like?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, obviously I'm still early in this journey, but it has been incredible adventure. I started 9 months ago. I have already landed several clients, and just the impact that I'm able to make with my clients has been incredible. So taking kind of those barriers away that I was always faced with as a recruiter and truly being that candidate advocate and giving insights to the recruiting process, encouraging them every step of the way, and just kind of giving that extra support and confidence throughout the entire process has been absolutely incredible.
Now, we did mention in your intro that you were helping mid-level professionals. Is there a specific demographic or industry that typically goes in so far, or is it broad right now?
Yeah, so it's been pretty broad. My goal is to target mid-level professionals who are making a career change. That's often who I gravitate towards. I've experienced a career change myself. My husband has gone through it. And then when I was doing school recruitment, I was also a career coach there. And so that was often the target market that I was working with, were career changers. And so right now my clients have mostly been in like nonprofit, HR, and tech.
And generally, they are looking for a pivot. They would say is maybe an age of 35 and above, like mid-level. And where are you currently finding them? Like, what marketing channel is working for you so far in the first 9 months?
I have always been a huge fan of LinkedIn. This has just been a crucial part in my career as I sourced candidates. And so I am really well versed in doing Boolean searches, keyword searches, content creation. I get a lot of great compliments about my content and just that it's very positive, it's relatable. And so that's where I've been finding a lot of my clients right now. I'm also getting a lot of referrals, which has just been fantastic. Most of them are within the local area within Idaho or neighboring states. However, I do have a couple that are branching out into the East Coast. I also have a client who's moving internationally as well. So kind of branching out from just my local market, which has been exciting.
And you mentioned doing searches, like kind of like advanced searches on LinkedIn. What is the strategy there? Like, are you actually trying to find a group of people that you want to reach out to, or how does that look like?
Honestly, when I was just starting out, it was kind of targeting those individuals with the green banner because they had that immediate need. And as I've kind of pivoted my business, it's now very strategic in those industries that I'm supporting. And I joined several LinkedIn groups, webinars, and just starting a dialogue with individuals. So, hey, how are you feeling about your current job? What does that look like for you? And so not even from the approach of, hey, let's make a career change for you, but more of a discovery call of how are things going for you? I just want to connect with you, build this relationship. I'm all about building those strong connections with individuals, and it's worked really well so far. Just having kind of those open conversations about their journey.
And how do you pick them? Is that kind of like cold, or how do you know who to reach out to and ask how they're doing?
Yeah, it is cold outreach, to be honest. And so, like I said, kind of looking at their activity on LinkedIn. So looking at their posts, looking at the groups they're in, looking at their history as far as experience. If they've gone through a career change before, just asking how did that go for them? Are they happy in that new industry? So those are some of the factors that I'm looking for when I'm identifying my clients.
That works. And what is the percentage you would say of referrals right now?
Probably a majority of my business, honestly. So probably I would say if I had to guess, 85 to 90% have been referrals. And whether that's somebody who has previously worked with me as even a candidate or from a recruiting side, or just somebody who saw my content and then referred them to me.
Well, I can definitely see that, obviously referrals, as you mentioned, but I do see that there is a considerable amount of followers on LinkedIn for someone just doing this for 9 months. Is there like a strategy that has helped you grow that? Is it the content, or is there some content strategy there?
Well, it was developed over years of recruiting. When you are being reached out by candidates, or you've developed that rapport with candidates, you just naturally connect with people. So that growth that you're seeing on my LinkedIn, that hasn't been within just the 9 months. That has been over years of curating my content and reaching out to candidates and building that rapport. But my strategy now is definitely around my content. I'm doing a lot more videos. I'm about to launch a new course. So I'm really excited about that. So I'll be posting more around that. As you mentioned in my bio, I am that positive cheerleader. And so people have just really gravitated towards that, needing that additional support, because the job search process can be quite lonely. It can be very daunting. It can be exhausting. And so just knowing that you have someone out there cheering you on has been really great for my business.
What would you say are the goals that you're working towards for the next 1 to 3 years?
Yeah. So like I said, I am about to launch a new course. So that will probably be coming out in summer, beginning of fall, kind of working on finalizing some of the details. And then, like I said, creating some of that content. So that's going to be one of my goals. With my program, I incorporate a lot of mindset practices. I believe for a candidate to embrace this journey and go through a career change, they really have to be in the right mindset. So we kind of dive into that. I also want them to recognize their value and their unique brand. That was the missing piece I saw oftentimes in candidates. So those are some components that I'm building out in my program. And so with that, I'm also launching a mindset journal for my candidates. So that way they can have a daily tracker of what are some things that have really boosted their levels, energy levels, what are some things that maybe have tanked those energy levels, and kind of just take them through that process so they can journal it and kind of recognize maybe some of those wins, but also those triggers that they might have that are kind of making them pull back in that process.
Mm-hmm. And when it comes to this program that you're currently developing, will that like be the main program afterwards? So kind of like doing your offer, kind of?
Exactly. Yeah. So right now I have a couple different packages to choose from, but I really am so excited about this new offering. And so that will be my primary focus is this offering. It's going to be an 8 to 12 week process with my clients. So it's definitely not like a quick turnkey process. Like I said, we dive really deep into some of the mindset practices and, having some affirmations and just really positive energy to help them lead with confidence. And so I'm going to really kind of dive into that. And that's going to be my primary offering.
Cool, amazing. And what about the course? Is there some details or are you still like working out the content? So nothing to share ahead for that?
I'm still working out a lot of the details. Like I said, it's really a multi-week process. It is one-on-one coaching right now with the goal of maybe being group coaching in the future within the next year, but really focusing on that one-on-one relationships. That's where I feel that I can build that connection with my clients. But the biggest thing is really helping my clients identify their value. I strongly believe each individual brings something unique to the workforce, and we may have the same title, same pay, all of that on paper looks the exact same, but what you and I bring to a team are very different. And so really being able to highlight that and understand that value and then convey that in an interview, your resume, cover letter, all of those pieces. But then also, like I said, having that mindset piece as well. So when things are getting tough, not feeling discouraged, maybe letting, sit with it for maybe a little bit, but then moving on with that new energy, that new boost of confidence, that knowing that something better is coming your way.
I really like this. So I like that you have the course. You are like maybe like you're basically focused on building the course. You're focused on refining your offer, one-on-one coaching for now, and then also potentially having a group coaching later on. Obviously, from my experience interviewing a lot of coaches, these are very big steps. So I really like that you have that energy and you're going with it with the right mindset after it. So
Yeah, thank you.
congrats to you. So in terms of investments, has there been any investment that you'd like to share that has helped you grow the coaching business so far?
Yeah, there's been two that come to mind. So I did invest in a business coach, and she was previously a career coach. And so she's been in my place and she has scaled 3 businesses, and now she helps other coaches scale their business. And so that has been really transformative, just understanding maybe my target market, niche client, especially as I'm kind of narrowing that down to those mid-level career changers. She's also given me a lot of insight into my program, the unique aspect of it. And so that has been incredibly valuable. The other thing I would say is my investment into learning AI tools. I'm really passionate about technology. And so I've spent a lot of time kind of just beta testing different tools, going to different webinars or workshops, and integrating that into my business, because that is the way the world is shifting. And so being able to also translate that skill to my clients has been crucial as well.
Yeah, especially in the beginning right now, which I can imagine you don't yet have like that big team that can help you around. Do you already have a team so far, or is it just you mostly?
It's just me right now. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's very important to have those automations in place, those tools, and AI obviously is the big thing right now. And when it comes to the business coach that you mentioned, do you mind sharing who that is? Maybe someone might find that valuable.
Yeah, her name is Rosie with Badass Empires. And so she's out of New Zealand. That's actually kind of what drew me to her. Is my family, we are making a big move to New Zealand this year. And so wanting to kind of build my network there as well as, maintain it here in the US. Just knowing that she's already there, she's been through kind of this journey before, I really connected with her.
Oh wow, New Zealand, that's quite that's quite a thing. I mean, you're moving to a completely different time zone.
Yes, yeah. It's going to be a big adventure for sure.
Do you feel like that's going to have any impact on like the coaching business, or maybe just like taking calls in a different time zone, working still with US kind of?
Yeah. Yeah. I think the great thing about it is it'll actually allow me to open up my services globally, right? I'm not just exclusively marketing now to people in Idaho, where I'm located now. I have the opportunity to expand my business. So I'm really excited actually about that potential. You would think going into such a big adventure that there would be maybe some nerves and feeling like, oh gosh, is this going to impact my business? But I'm actually really excited about the new opportunities they'll bring and the growth. And so that will be a long-term goal, is being more globally available. But yeah, for the short term, I will be adjusting my hours to still support my US clients.
Cool. I've actually interviewed a coach who is in New Zealand. His name is Prajesh Chanabai. You can check out his episode. He is like a leadership coach and more of like a mindset coach, but you'll find that maybe episode interesting, or maybe even connect with him since he is going to be in the same country. Obviously, it's a big country, but so
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for that. I will check him out.
the next question I have for you is, what do you say is the biggest challenge that you're facing right now in further scaling your coaching business? What's holding you back right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think my biggest challenge really has been around lead generation. And that is one of the things I'm working on with my business coach. But obviously, my practices in this area have been maybe outdated, right? I'm really kind of targeting LinkedIn, using my recruiting methods, right? And I know there's a better way out there. And so I'm kind of just exploring what that looks like. I also am really mindful about my business, though, and really intentional. I want to bring in the right clients, not just any client. And so that's where, with my process right now, I do feel like I can reach out to specific people that I feel would benefit from my business, but also feel connected and build that rapport with, and not just have them be a monetary client. And so, as I mentioned, with this big move to New Zealand, that lead generation is going to be so key, being able to reach people outside of, where I grew up and in a whole new country as well.
Well, I got good news for you there. So I'm going to share that with you later on when it comes to how you can tackle that. Is there any final advice you'd like to give to other coaches in your level who are looking to scale their impact?
Yeah. Well, I have 2 points of advice. So first, if there's anybody who's thinking about becoming a career coach and maybe having self-doubts, I would say just do it. Take the risk. It's worth it. You will find your fulfillment and you will love helping others. And for those who are already in the career coaching business and wanting to scale, I would say just remember, you have a unique offering. You have a unique program that is designed for your specific clients. I mean, the market is so big, right? There's so many candidates that we all can serve. And so by supporting each other, I strongly believe that. My closest friends are career coaches, and we will send referrals. If somebody's not a good fit for me, I'm sending them over to another career coach. So just know that you have a unique value. You are making a huge impact, but then also don't be afraid to support other career coaches.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. That is very powerful advice. And even the coaches that I've interviewed mostly have been on the same opinion as you, that is not a competition, it's more of like a collaboration between coaches. So yeah, I totally agree with you. And thank you so much for coming to the podcast today. For anyone who wants to connect with you or find you, obviously they can go into LinkedIn, Brittany Ohnsman. And there's also the website, careersnavigator.com. Is there any other way people could reach out to you?
Yeah, I also have an Instagram as well, and my handle is careersnav.
Thank you. Thank you, Brittany. We'll also make sure to link that on the description of this podcast so people could just click right through it. Thank you so much for coming to the podcast. This was lovely.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
That's it for this episode of Career Coaching Secrets. If you enjoyed this conversation, you can subscribe to YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to this episode to catch future episodes. This conversation was brought to you by Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to 7 and 8 figures without burning out. To learn more about Purple Circle, our community, and how we can help you grow your business, visit joinpurplecircle.com.